new report shows that the cost to businesses bottom line without LGBTQ plus inclusion. A new article in Forbes explores and shows that businesses not supporting their LGBTQ plus employees can cost them money. This analysis takes both LGBTQ plus in and out of the closet into consideration. People who are out of the closet in a business without LGBTQ plus support will frequently have to spend time educating their coworkers or being asked inappropriate questions. Those who were unable to come out will have to spend time masking their personal lives. The creator of the article at Forbes estimated that LGBTQ plus employees in businesses without a support system spend about 65 work hours a year dealing with their sexuality in the workplace. If you were to use the Queer News Tonight methodology of standard of 7% of population being LGBTQ plus or in our community, that means a business with 100 employees is wasting 6,500 hours of pay a year by not supporting their LGBTQ plus employees. Even at the U.S. minimum wage of $7.25 an hour, that's over $47,000 a year wasted in wages. In companies with higher pay scales and larger labor forces, that number rises exponentially. Interesting report.
It's interesting, and it's also sad to see just how much time is wasted talking about sexuality, or more so for folks in the queer community, I'm assuming having to explain what it is to be LGBT to their heterosexual peers. Like 65 hours.
Well, I serve on one of the pride committees for a large regional bank, and one of the things that, big corporations have is they have these diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. One of the things we started with the Hollywood Council is a program called Circle of Pride, which is really for small businesses who maybe want to be welcoming, and just to give them some basic tactics to make sure that their employees, if they want to be welcoming or supportive of LGBTQ plus employees and customers, that they have some just basic tenets to show that, because that's where the real loss is in small businesses, because they don't have these big programs to help support the community.
I love that.
Well, we aren't all lucky enough to work at a table where everybody's gay and there's no explanation necessary. I mean,
that's right.
We are really lucky.
I used to work for this guy. God, he was an absolute jerk. He ran a restaurant in Indianapolis. And I was allegedly, and this is the mid-90s, I was allegedly the first gay waiter he had ever had. And he nicknamed me the Tulip.
The Tulip.
I am not joking. His name was Keith Albrecht, because as I say, I forgive, but I don't forget, and you're still a jerk. But that said, 65 hours a year spent dealing with your sexuality at work. I mean, I work from home. And trust me, I spend 65 hours a year dealing with my sexuality by myself. But in real out in the workplace forces, that's detrimental to people.
I don't even want to know how at home you're working on that individual sexuality question. It's funny. Statistically, a couple of things pop off the page. Forbes is estimating in this report that if you're working in a business that doesn't have inclusion in their business program, that you're spending a week and a half of your year discussing your sexuality. I would much rather have my week and a half back as vacation pay. Let me go on vacation and go to Mykonos for the week and a half, as opposed to talking about something that is irrelevant. And second, this is an issue that is much more amplified in LGBT, because can you imagine in even small businesses having to explain your race or your gender for women, or in various different implementations? This is a very unique issue of waste because of gender identity issues, which is why this report that Forbes does is so interesting and also so important, in my opinion.
I think that that intersectionality is really a big deal, because people are not just dealing with their sexual identity issues; they could be dealing with race plus that in the workplace. So you start layering those things on, and you can really see, which is why we need to pass the Equality Act, so we don't, so people are protected in the workplace.
Let's move to Tulip. Go ahead, Tulip.
Wow. Yes. That straight.
This is why I'm on medication
You're wearing
for PTSD.
You're wearing
this
red.
Is why.
You're in red. LGBTQ plus news is vital for our community and for the broader world as a whole. We have enough enemies at Fox News. Tucker, Sean, and Laura are loud. We need passionate allies. Happening Out Television Network, Queer News Tonight, and It's Happening Out are literally out of the closet and into the headlines. Our community needs your support. Like this broadcast and subscribe now to ensure the growth of the entire LGBT